An interesting name has popped up now around the Chicago Bears of being a potential person of interest if they do hit the market. Me and Steve are going to talk about Mike Tomlin as there may be some fire to the smoke around his name. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host here, Haize, joined by Stevo in the building. What's going on, Stevo?
What's the word?
So we got an update, man. So a lot of this is the whole head coaching situation is kind of wild. So we got out Jordan Schultz yesterday that said that a decision hasn't been made yet on what to do with the head coaching or the quarterback situation. And then we shortly after that started getting rumors to the contrary. Well, so Adam Brer came out yesterday and said that there may be a chance that the Steelers may be parting ways with Mike Tomlin after 17 seasons there, 16 years. And then later on in that same day, David Kaplan came out and said that from what he's heard, that if Tomlin hits the open market, that there will be no cost that would keep them from going after Mike Tomlin. When you hear that, Stevo, Mike Tomlin and what he's been as a coach in Pittsburgh, he has a record of 170 and 100, a win percentage of 63%. And keep in mind, the last like 3-4 years there have been a little bit rocky with their quarterback situation and everything else. But throughout all of it, they still stayed above 500. They're 500 right now in the season. We'll see how they finish that off. But they've never finished lower than third in their division. More times than not, they finish either first or second. They have a lot of playoff berths in that time as well. They've made the playoffs about half the time he's been there, which is a lot when you look at 17 seasons. How you feeling, Steve-O?
I don't care what nobody say of any. If he comes on the market and he's a free agent when it comes to head coaches, he's the number one option when it comes to a head coach. Without a shadow of a doubt, over Jim Harbaugh, over Shane Waldron, Ben Johnson, all the above, Eric Bieniemy, he's by now the Aristotle of the head coaches. You go get that dude. Why you go get him? One, from a Bears perspective, he fits everything that we're trying to do when it comes to how we like to build teams. He's a dude that understands how to build through the draft. He done got a couple dudes through the draft. We talking about Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, who was all not top picks. You also got Juju. You got Deontay. Even though he picked Chase Claypool, you got George Pickens. So one of the things we've noticed that it come to pose, he could pretty much find other talent in other situations, but one of his main struggles is finding legit weapons, and that's something Tomlin is probably a specialty as far as finding weapons on either the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. So he can help you with that, and just coaching, he fits the attitude that we need. One thing I know as a head coach for this Bears team, if Mike Tomlin is my coach, I don't have to worry again. There's not going to be too many times we come in a game or come into a week and feel like this team is not going to be prepared on Sunday. That's something he preaches. That's something he always is. He's very disciplined. He don't take no stuff. He not allowing bull. And some of the stuff we've seen this year, especially this year, you're just not going to see it in his organization. It just doesn't happen because that's the standard he holds. So I agree with Kaplan on all they said. If he's a legit contender, they come to terms and they're not re-signed with the Steelers, that's your guy.
Yeah, I look at Mike Tomlin and like well, I'm gonna throw a question to you, but like,
Boy, you call him Mac?
Huh?
You called him Mac Tomlin.
Did I say Mike Tomlin? I agree with everything that you said on Mike Tomlin. Like, Mike Tomlin is a guy that you've seen what exactly what he's done in Pittsburgh is what we want a coach to do here. Somebody who's going to be there for years, who's going to develop, grow. One thing with Mike Tomlin is that he's not afraid to hire the right coordinators in the right time, and that's another thing that's an important part of being a head coach. You have to hire the right coordinators to help shore up some of the things that you may be short on in your game. And that's an important part of all of this. You look at how instrumental he was to the Pittsburgh Steelers winning a title, that first one under Big Ben, and just how he didn't go away from Big Ben at times where people thought that they should. So, like, it's a lot of things there that Mike Tomlin brings to this table that I think, and I'll go on to say this, from the Bears fans that were talking about Jim Harbaugh, for example, Mike Tomlin brings a lot of those same attributes. Now, I'm going to throw this one to you, though, Steve-O. if they both hit the market, which there's been some now rumors that Jim Harbaugh may stay in college football, that if he does come to college, into the NFL, I think they said the Chargers job is really enticing to him. But let's say all things even, they're both on the market and they both want to come to Chicago. Which way are you leaning, Jim Harbaugh or Mike Tomlin?
Mike.
Okay.
It's just Mike because they're both like, if we between the two, it doesn't matter. Like, I take both, but I'm specifically taking Mike because I feel like if we take Mike more often, we're probably gonna keep Justin because, like you said, there was times where he was with Ben and everybody felt like Ben should have been gone, and I feel like that's a lot of things we have to come to terms. Not to saying that I agree with this, like Justin just might not be the best quarterback in the league, but Ben won. Ben wasn't the best quarterback in the league, and Tomlin, when he came there, didn't try to change anything. They knew what he was good at with Ben Roethlisberger, and he got a coordinator and talent to do what he's good at.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I know he's going to do with Justin. He's going to be like, I know this kid talented. I'm not worried about the stats. I'm not worried about him statistically being one of the best quarterbacks. He's going to be listed one of the best quarterbacks when we win a Super Bowl. Yeah. That's his type of mindset. He don't care about all that. And even to some degree, I'm leaning more like, I do believe to some degree Jim Harbaugh might want Justin, but also I could also see him wanting to pick his own. So that's another factor. But I'll just lean just because of got Ryan Poles there. For some reason, I just think him and Mike will click more. I just feel like the stuff that what lacks in Poles and even maybe to Kevin Warren to some degree, Mike will bring in to help fill everything out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could do a lot worse. They've never had a losing record under Mike Tomlin. Never. Just haven't. They've never won less than 8 games. So, and that's when it was 16 games. So, this is a coach that immediately comes in, and you're talking about a standard at that point where it's no longer like we're this team, we're rebuilding, we're going to be bad, whatever. If you hire Mike Tomlin, you're setting the standard and the expectation of playoffs from that point on. And I can't be mad at that. That holds you accountable. That holds the players accountable. That's going to hold the front office accountable. And that's also going to put ownership on notice on, we need to get out the way and let these people work if they can bring in Mike Tomlin. Now, there's some ifs that need to happen in that, right? That's if the Steelers and Mike Tomlin decide to part ways, whatever happens there, which, hearing that could be a bigger possibility when you're there for 17 seasons, 16 years. Something to be said that everybody kind of runs their course, but Mike Tomlin is still a guy who has so much coaching left ahead of him. He's only 51 years old. We're talking about coaches don't start their head coaching journey sometimes until they're in their 50s. So Mike Tomlin has more than enough coaching ahead of him. He's not somebody that I feel like is disconnected from modern day players. I think the players here are going to respect him. You also look at what you've already brought in here. You brought in Montez Sweat. You got TJ Edwards. You got Jaquan Brisker. These are guys that fit the mindset of what Mike Tomlin likes the identity of his team to be. Mike Tomlin would love Cole Kmet.
Mike Tomlin like a lot of teams on it. Yeah. Like, he'll like a lot of players on his team. He'll like the whole defense for once. Like, the fact that this defense is playing the way they are, we don't even got our desired 3-tech yet. It's crazy. So, I'm already knowing the defense is attractive to him. But the offense, it's nothing but speed and promise over there. You got Cole Kmet, who big, run real fast, likes to block, and it's improved on his blocking. You got DJ, who's a sure down. Every time you throw it to him, he's going to come down with the ball. And then if you come in the draft, right, let him pick some of the wide receivers. Like, no doubt in my mind, if he's our head coach, he's going to be like, boy, if you don't get Marvin Harrison Jr., what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Like, he just going, that's the type of dude he is. So I just think it's a lot of things that will be attractive for him compared to over there. It's more of a new regime over here. Like, you can really see the McCaskies really stepping back more than they done in the previous years. I'm not necessarily knowing how strong the ownership is in the Steelers, but we all know historically wise they have a lot to do with what's involved and what's going on over there. But they also do know how to hire people that know how to win in the modern day up until this point. But I just think everything over here be attractive. The Kevin Warrens, the Ryan Poles, the possibly the new DC OC that he can bring, the stuff like that, and then the draft picks you got here. Like, it's a very attractive team. Like, this a team that you can look on tape and you can see in the past few years they're not as bad or not as terrible as what their records have shown.
That's facts. And when you look at so with Kevin Warren, we already talked about the pieces that he's going to really like on this team. One of the questions, and we got to talk about it outright because everybody's going to ask about it. What do you think from what we've known about Mike Tomlin? What do you think his opinion on Justin Fields? You think he would want them to go quarterback in the first overall pick, or you think he's going to look at Justin and say, "No, I can make this work"?
No, because I know he a coach that watch tape, and he gonna sit there and hear all the criticism of, oh, he don't know how to read coverage. Well, in this scheme, he's forced to read coverages, so you can't sit there and say he don't know how to read the defense when he's forced to read the defense every Sunday. Yeah. So he's gonna sit there and realize, and then you're gonna go look at the tape and look at these young quarterbacks and realize, well, if you look at USC, they ain't really telling him to go read defense. It's a lot of RPO, and RPO ain't reading. It's reading the edge and then making a decision from that point to pass or get the ball out to the running back. So to him, he's gonna look at also he's seen a young Justin before he was at this point, and he almost smoked him. So he's gonna look at that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Like, one thing I know about coaches watch other teams, and they watch. Everybody knew how much of a threat Justin is, and they all know, like, even to compare to Mr. Trubisky, because they were similar when it comes to the physical aspect. But we all know the accuracy issue is not the same. Yeah. Justin is very accurate for the people that what people don't want to give him credit for. He's very much accurate. It's just sometimes his consistency is weird. And we can also look at because the play calling is also very inconsistent when it comes to when and where you call plays. So if I'm going to us, I can see him saying, Justin, that dude, we ain't got to look at here. We just got to fix a rhythm, fix the coaching, get him some more weapons, and let's make a go for it.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I guess we'll see, man. I'll tell you what, if we get announced that Mike Tomlin is the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, I'm throwing a little mini part. That'd be crazy, bro. Exactly. That's not even a name. I won't even lie to you. It's not even a name that I even have thought about before this recent rumors came.
I should have. I don't know why. It's funny because we really should have. Like,
it fits Kevin Warren's motive. Like,
not even that. Like, if you just really look at the Steelers over there, like, bro, He ain't gonna say it. He don't like fucking Kenny Pickett. He don't like Kenny Pickett.
Who does?
And then, like, he get this running back who was talented, but you won't get him a line. Yeah. Like, at least Ryan Poles have shown we gonna try to get this line together. We ain't done, but I've each and every year have improved it to some degree. When it came from Tevin to Darnell to now Darnell and Nate Davis. So who knows what he gonna do this year? It's just a lot of things over here he can look at and be like, yeah, they'll look at it. Their trajectory is way more promising than what I got on going over here.
Yeah,
and it's another historic franchise. It's almost like it's gonna feel almost similar to him. So like I can also see him like that.
Yeah. Well, Mike Tomlin, maybe in a few months we're talking about Mike Tomlin as the next head coach of the Chicago Bears.
That's gonna be crazy.
Hey, listen, everybody, let us know what you think down below on the chances of Mike Tomlin coming to the Chicago Bears and how you feel about it overall. Y'all can follow Stevo at Stevo Speaks on everything. You can follow us collectively at Shy Bears Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-242-9336. We the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Like we like to end everything on. Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.